Okay, so then to my question that maybe you can answer a little bit on is the departure of Ambassador Brink from Kyiv. Do you have anything to say about that?
I do, says Tammy Bruce. Wow, all right. Because we had just discussed this.
Right. Well, we also had discussed something a little bit
yes,
earlier.
The
blanket statement that we, the State Department, do not discuss personnel matters.
Well, that is something we've discussed at great length, and in this particular case, Ambassador Brink's been ambassador at the embassy in Ukraine for 3 years, during a time of war for those 3 years, an extraordinary performance there, and we wish her well. At the same time, of course, it's a reminder when it comes to the issues that we think about that surround this conversation, is that we know that we're working for that war to end. And that is our focus. And we expect, of course, our work that will continue in that regard. But that's the nature of what we're focusing on here. And we wish her well. And that's really all we would say in that regard. Yes, Andrea.
Can I follow up a bit? There are several Americans in Russia that were at least identified by Mickey Bergman and other groups who are active in this regard with trying to get Americans out, who are not designated yet as wrongfully detained. And I'm wondering if you could check or take the question as to whether there's any progress on elevating them to the level of wrongfully detained, which could accelerate them getting released. I think that was done by the administration with Mark Fogel.
Right, I do know, yes. Again, the question about Americans who don't have a designation of being wrongfully detained is that if an American is being held, we are regularly looking at those cases. Okay. We're constantly addressing the nature of how they're held, why they're held, and if that designation might change. So it's not something we look away from. It's a regular effort. And so in the regard of anyone who's not been designated in that fashion, it is something, as you've noted, like with Mr. Fogel, that can change if circumstances merit it.
And can you give us any details? There's some confusion. According to her lawyer, she was supposedly, Ksenia was arriving at 4 p.m. There are other reports that it is as late as 9 p.m. Can you give us any clarification about and when if she'll be going to the White House, or do you know anything more? And I have one more question to ask. Will she be going to Brooke Army Medical?
Well, clearly there's still issues of privacy here. I'm not really going to talk about the choices she's made, where specifically she is going, or what the plans are for her involved in that, which are decisions that are going to be made in that environment and with her, which would not be appropriate to discuss. And certainly I can't discuss the nature of the negotiations that occurred, which clearly did. But maybe that's for another day, but here I can't do that.
Okay. And speaking of negotiations, can you give us an update on what is expected on Saturday with the Iran talks? Because Foreign Minister Arachi's column in the Washington Post yesterday made it very clear that there would be no talks if the U.S. was insisting that they are direct. And of course, the position, as repeated today in the cabinet meeting, was that they will be direct talks. So do you still expect these talks to take place on Saturday? And will they begin indirect talks and then move to direct, or is there some resolution of that?
Well, I'm not on the team that makes that decision or has those conversations, right? And we're not going to litigate that here. As I said on Tuesday, and repeatedly say really about everything, if the president says something, that's my North Star. And they're the ones in the midst of the discussions regarding the arrangement of this meeting, and we'll leave it to them. So I'm not going to speculate on that or what will happen. There are clearly some very good and very important diplomats involved in this, including, of course, Special Envoy Witkoff. and we'll leave it there. We'll find out. At this point, yes, that is still underway. It's happening, and we look forward to it as a good first step to find out if the Iranians are serious. All right, yes, in the back there, yeah.
Thank you. A couple of questions. Just to be super clear, did you
Well,
just,
a little bit, Nadia, please.
yeah, just to be super clear, did you just confirm the resignation of Ambassador Brink?
I'm sorry?
Ambassador Brink's resignation, did you just confirm that? Because you wish her well.
Well, she's returning home, yes.
So that's official. Thanks so much. For those of us who have been following, this from the very beginning, we couldn't help but notice that Ambassador Brink has been limited with naming Russia, recently, particularly during the past couple of weeks, when it comes to talking about Russian attacks on Ukraine. Was there any instruction, any pressure on her for not naming Russia from this building?
Well, I'm not aware of anything like that. Certainly, I wouldn't speak to anything regarding that, regarding personnel, regarding a diplomat, and the internal dynamics that might occur. So, no, that's not something I'm going to speculate about or guess at or speak to.
Again, my follow-up on Ukraine as well. Tomorrow marks 30 days, 1 month since Ukraine, did basically sign in your ceasefire deal, and Russia refused, has been delaying since then. And as we speak, they keep attacking Kyiv right now. May I get your perspective on that, please?
Well, the perspective, I think everyone understands the perspective, is that President Trump is involved in this. We've got the best diplomats in the world, with certainly being led by Secretary Rubio. All of our leadership, but particularly President Trump and Secretary Rubio in public, have made it clear what's at stake when it comes to the nature of this situation ending. It is a dynamic that will not be solved militarily. It is a meat grinder. There is nothing else can be discussed for the outcome until the shooting and the killing stops. Secretary Rubio made clear at NATO in his press conference that we would in fact know in a matter of weeks if Russia was serious. And so we'll take him at his word, certainly, as we do. And I think Russia certainly needs to take that seriously, and we'll play that out. But this is not going to go on for 6 months or a year or anything else. And the president has also made it clear we want diplomacy. But the fact is that we're watching and judging as this process continues. Yes, sir.